Hey everybody, welcome back to Fiverr Talks. My name is Joel and it's Wednesday. So today we're asking, what's up with those sellers that sell for unbelievably low prices? Is it sustainable? How do we compete with them? What are we going to do? All of these things and more right here on today's video. That's right, it's What's Up Wednesday, where every single Wednesday we ask what's up with something on Fiverr. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday right here on YouTube, free for everybody. Friday over on Patreon, we go deeper with the exclusive videos. That's patreon.com/DJYoung. I have an exclusive Q&A video for my Patreon insiders every single first Friday of the month. We answer their questions. It's been really awesome. So if you're interested in going deeper, becoming the best Fiverr seller you can be, well, that's where you need to be. Today we're asking, what's up with sellers that price themselves so low that they couldn't possibly make any money doing it? Is this a thing? Should I be worried about this? People are always asking me this question, and it seems to be the biggest concern for any new seller or anyone looking at Fiverr trying to get started. Can I even compete with these people that offer ridiculously low prices? And I think the answer is yes, you can, but no, you shouldn't, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But first, I want to explain a little philosophy about economics, and not just Fiverr economics, but these are world economics. This is how things work. There are essentially two strategies for selling anything in the world. This is what I'm going to call the price-quality spectrum, okay? These two strategies, you may have heard me mention this before in earlier videos, the price-quality spectrum. Here's how it goes. There are those who sell products and services based on a low volume with a high quality. These are typically the people who sell for a more expensive price. Then, on the other side of the spectrum, you have those that are selling a low quality good, so it's not the highest quality, it's low quality at a high volume. Relatively inexpensive products and services. These are the Walmarts of the world, the closeout stores of the world. They base their whole philosophy, all of their economics are based on high quantities, low quality. And this is what I would call the price-quality spectrum that we're all competing on. And essentially, when someone says, how do I compete with those that are selling for prices that are so low I couldn't make any money at, you're asking, where should I be on the price-quality spectrum, right? And my answer is, you never want to be in a race to the bottom. I'm not the first to say this. You never want to be in a race to the bottom because nobody truly wins in that model. Many people will tell you over the years, Walmart has been one of the only companies that succeeded by trying to be the lowest price every time, but it's very, very hard to compete by being the lowest price all the time. It's a much more reliable method, if you will, to try to be somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. Not the low volume, high quality, ultra low volume, ultra high quality, expensive stuff. Not the ultra low quality, ultra high volume sellers. You want to be somewhere right in the middle where you're matching in this perfect spot your quality and your value with your quantity and the amount of products or the amount of time that you're putting into your services and the amount of widgets or services or creative things that you're churning out on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. You want to find somewhere in the middle to be, because this is where true value for the consumer lands. And that's where more purchases are made, in the middle of that spectrum. People are often purchasing, if there was a heat map to this spectrum, they'd be purchasing in the middle more often than on the edges. So you have to find a place to put yourself somewhere in the middle. So if you're worried about competing with those that have ultra low prices, realize that you shouldn't be competing with these people at all. You should be trying to find the sweet spot for your services, your niche, you as a person, your gifts, your abilities, and placing and positioning your services in the spectrum in the perfect spot. Okay? So that leads us to the question, how do we find our sweet spot? Well, we're going to talk about that today. But before we do, I want to ask you our question of the day. Today's question is, where do you feel you currently fall on that price quality spectrum? Are you low volume, high quantity? Are you low quality, high volume? Where do you feel like you're falling, and where do you want to be? You see, this is all a part of the journey to get where we need to go, is first identifying where we are. So leave us your answer to that question down below with the hashtag QOTD for question of the day. All right, let's jump on to my tips for how to find your sweet spot somewhere in the middle between the top and the bottom of the spectrum, and therefore finding the sweet spot where people will be most comfortable in purchasing your product or service on Fiverr. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Like I said before, the first thing you need to do is identify where you are and then know where you want to be. Not just knowing here's where I am, but knowing here's where I need to go. And you might ask, how do I know where I am? How do I know where I fall in relation to my competitors? Well, you need to, secondly, know your niche and know what others in your niche are charging. Now, on Fiverr, you can really get in detail, some up close and personal statistics based on people that are doing the exact same thing as you, because Fiverr groups us into categories. If you're a voice actor, you can easily look at other voice actors. Maybe you're a male and you want to look at other male voice actors. If you're a copywriter, you want to look at copywriters. If you want to go deeper, maybe you could look at people that are writing social media copy or blog copy or whatever it is, exacting the niche that you also do. Find people that do similar things to you, find out what they're charging, how they're charging, and see how much they're selling. You can look at how many orders they have in queue, look where they rank in things, look where the top people are. What are their prices? How much are they selling? You might be able to notice some trends and some patterns and place yourself somewhere in that spectrum through some research. So the first thing you need to do is go out and research, know your niche, know what others are charging, and place yourself on that chart so you know where you are to start. Then you need to go back and ask yourself, where do I want to be? Is my price too high? Would I rather do more volume but find a way to lower the quality of my service? Maybe. That's not the direction I would necessarily suggest, but in many cases you might be saying, how do I raise the quality of my services so it demands a higher price and therefore I can lower my volume but do higher quality, more expensive work or more costly work? That's the direction most of us want to head because it leads to higher profits in the end. So that all starts with knowing your niche and knowing what others are charging in your particular niche on Fiverr. All right, ready for the next one? You need to know where your level of quality sits compared to others. In fact, you need to do in-depth research on how you think you compare to the people that are offering the exact same service as you. And this is something you may want to employ some unbiased people outside of yourself or your circle to help with. People that could look at what you do, what somebody else does, and what a third person does blindly without knowing which one you did, so they're bending their answer to make you feel better, and say which one is better and why. Which one would you prefer and why? Find out where your quality is compared to those that are selling higher quality goods at higher prices and lower quantities, or in whatever direction you want to go on that scale. Find out where they are compared to you and figure out how to get there so that you can match that level on the price quality spectrum. Okay? Then this is probably the most important thing of all. After you have all the information, you need to put together a plan for increasing quality and climbing the ladder. Like I said, I don't necessarily recommend for anyone to say, I think I should lower the quality of my service and therefore I could do more. There might be special instances where you might be able to cut out a portion of your service to make it more affordable and attractive to entry-level customers. Yes, that part I think is true, but I do not think anybody would be well served by totally lowering the quality or the effort they put into something so they can sell more of them quicker and cheaper. I think you're better off raising the quality of your work to some of the best in your field. Then you'll be able to afford a higher price. And a lot of this has to do with where you are in your selling journey. You know, in the beginning, when you're fresh into Fiverr, you don't have a lot of reviews, you're a new seller, you're probably going to fall more on the low quality side of things. I did when I started. But instead of being low quality, high volume, you're going to be low quality, low volume to start. And that's okay. That's an okay place to start. What you need to do is then raise your quality so that as your quality goes up, so will your volume of sales. And thus, you're going to be going in a diagonal trajectory up and to the right on the spectrum and being able to serve not only more people, but with a higher quality job. And as you get better at what you're doing, you'll be able to offer a higher quality service with less time. In the early days, it might take you more time to do a low quality job, whereas after 10 years of experience, somebody like myself, I can do higher quality work today than I did 10 years ago, and it takes me less time. So those are all win-wins, and those all add up to higher revenue and more success for you on Fiverr as a seller. So take these tips, take these truths, take these questions, go identify where you are and where you want to be, set that goal and start making a plan to get there, because I promise you won't end up there by accident. You have to take a plan, you have to go out there, you have to drag something home in order to eat. You have to make it happen. No one's going to make it happen for you. So let's get out there and let's get this done, Fiverr sellers. How about it? Hey, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you liked this, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving me a thumbs up down below. It really helps things. This community is growing more every day. There are hundreds and thousands of you being added every single month. I'm so thankful. We just crossed 2,000 subscribers in less than 8 months. So thank you for being here. And if you want to go deeper, join me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/DJYoung. And this is an added little bonus if you watched all the way to the end of the video, which I know many of you do. If you have a topic idea for these videos, shoot it to me in a comment down below. Let me know what topics you think I should cover in future videos. I'm always looking for new content, new ways to help you out. And of course, if you want your practical questions answered, I do that on Patreon the first Friday of every month. So subscribe and join me and the community of sellers over there. And until next time, keep doing, because the future favors the doers.